So you met David Beckham there, and then you met him on the night, and you also met Simon Cowell?
Yes,
Simon Cowell too.
did.
What was he like?
He was amazing,
Was he?
and he was invited me to come to a final. And
great.
he said you can sing in the stage, and I will book you into a final.
Wow, that's star power that you've got there. It really is. You must be so proud of this little one. She's great, isn't she? Your mum's so proud of you. Because it's incredible, because, you know, really, she's gone through such a lot. You wouldn't think it looking at her.
No, you wouldn't.
And she's so bubbly and so happy.
Yeah.
But gone through such a lot. You must be so worried about her as well.
Yeah, there were just some horrible, horrible dark times, but all along she's just been how she has been, and we've just took her lead, really, and if she can be like that after all the things she was going through, horrible things, then you can only smile around her, really.
And of course, you've got a very, very close bond. And I know grandmothers and their granddaughters are very close.
Oh, yeah.
But extra special for you, of course.
Yes.
Because really, it was down to you. You were a match, thank goodness.
Yeah.
That must have been hard, but you must have been so relieved that you could help her in such an amazing way.
It was a surprise that I could help her, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
it's so, so good. Yeah. Again, you must be so proud of her.
I am. Over the moon with that.
Where does she get this from, though? This generosity of spirit. There she is, going through all of this. And then she puts on that green tutu and goes for big walks for charity and looks like a princess. Where does that come from, do you think?
I just don't know. I mean, I think she just, more than anybody, knows what it's like to be in hospital and to be stuck in a bed, and she's always wanted, even from being really young herself, she'd be singing to the other patients. If they'd be crying, she'd be upset and want to help them.
I know, and giving them cuddles.
Yeah.
And making cards for everybody, because you make glittery cards.
Yes, I do. When all the children is... It can be horrible for children, but just think happy thoughts, so I could give you a toy or give you a card to make you say, get well soon, and I will be here to save you.
Today is the day that myself and a bunch of brilliant women are all going to be running 10K to promote body confidence, and yes, we are going to be wearing our underwear.
Saw you on Lorraine and I thought, I'm going to take a note of your name, and I'm so inspired. Oh my God, I'm doing it.
Yes, yeah, because of you.
It was one of those moments I just thought, why not? Let's just do it.
So I read about you and I couldn't stop thinking about what you were doing and what you've been through.
You can run, doesn't matter what size you are, who you are, just get out and do it.
We've got Deborah, terminal bowel cancer. We've got people who are showing their self-harm scars for the first time. Women so often feel terrified of being themselves, and this is about reclaiming our bodies and letting people know that our bodies are not just to look good for other people. We don't need to look amazing, because we are amazing.
We're perfect the way we are, and it's going to be great.
I'm feeling really nervous.
I'm nervous, yeah. I ran this the year that I got ill. It's been 3 years since I've done anything like this, so I'm like, yeah, I'm nervous.
Past the 5K mark. We've got to keep going. We're doing really well for us. We've pretty much ran all the way here.
We've pretty much ran all the way. So we're doing well. We're gonna get, we do it. It's a home stretch now, mate.
Home stretch.
Only 5K to go.
For goodness sake, the only part of your body that wasn't affected, soles of your feet.
Yeah, and my scalp, which is why I have all this hair now, luckily.
Right.
But yeah, everywhere else was burned to the 3rd degree. So, yeah, it wasn't a great situation to be in.
That you are happier now than if you hadn't had the terrible accident? You're actually happier for that?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one. Obviously, going back, it would have been ideal for it not to have happened.
Of course.
However, I think that although I went through those tough times mentally, physically, I've suffered with, you know, depression and sadness, I have come through it stronger. I've come through it a better person for it. You know, working with charities, it's made me a better person. And I do think I'm happier. I found what I want to do in life. And although trauma can be devastating, it can be uplifting, and it can give you a sense of purpose, which I've been lucky enough to find. And I hope that I'm just able to inspire others to do the same thing when they get to that point where maybe they feel they've hit a block, because you do. And I just want to be there to sort of say, it's okay to go on with your life and to show off what you've been through, because you should be proud of it and not scared and ashamed to show off your scars.
And I grabbed the phone and I said, you know, why are you taking pictures of my skirt?
Yeah.
And
kind of got the attention of people around me.
Right,
and they pushed him away, and I was able to run to the police, and he ran after me, got into a scuffle, and then the police said, even though I'd handed the phone, the picture, and him, and they said, you know, there's not much we can do, and that's when I started the campaign.
But good for you, because a lot of people would have said, oh, well, OK, there's nothing to be done, I'm really angry about it. But you took it further.
Yeah.
Was it because you felt so violated, or what
Yeah, it was. I think it was partly that, and I think it was also just too many times you brush it off.
And you've had a lot of support, haven't you? I know Dermot was a big supporter, and Holly as well, which helps. I mean, it really does, doesn't it? It actually gets it out there, which is really important. And it's important for young women in particular to be able to say, no,
yeah, exactly.
This is not right. And it's not right. What sort of perv takes a photograph of a young girl's knickers or her skirt?
No,
it's absolutely
not
disgusting.
at all.
It's
and
not right.
That's why it's so important as well, because this doesn't... I mean, I'm almost, in a way, glad it happened to me and not a younger girl who it really affected her. Yeah. But this is happening to, you know, kids and women and teachers and, like, it's everyone. So let's stop it now, you know?
Exactly. Police officer Aaron Parmer was on the scene that day, and in memory of the 22 who died, Aaron has completed 22 10-kilometre races, one for every single one of the victims. What an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, it's been my personal tribute, so...
Yeah, it's absolutely remarkable. I would imagine yesterday, for all sorts of reasons, it's in Manchester, you know, Safi's family are there. It's the last one.
Yeah.
It must have been a bit overwhelming, I would have thought.
Yeah, I've probably not processed it properly yet. It was just a blur yesterday, you know, there was so much going on emotionally. And at the time, you know, again, we were all sort of consumed in it, and for months after, we didn't really get much time to process what was going on. And, and I got quite a good bond with one of the families that I worked with, and sort of kept in touch with them ever since. And just seeing that they're still, you know, really struggling with it, it sort of struck a chord with me, and I wanted to do something to remember them by, if you like.
Next guest had a life-changing cycling accident which left her paralysed from the waist down. If you had to go through it all again, you would still cycle down that hill that day.
I would, and I wouldn't change it. I would go back and do it and this is the best life I've ever had. It has just changed me in so many ways, I think, for the better. It's, like you say, it's really accentuated the positivity that I had. And I'm hoping that I'm channeling it all in a good direction, just to show, like you say, that even with something catastrophic that can happen in your life, there's no end to the things you can still achieve if you really want to and put your mind to it. It doesn't change. You could cry every day for a week about not being able to walk, but you're still not going to be able to walk. So why do that? Why waste time? Why not just channel it into the things that you can do and the positive things that can help others? Well, after the programme, I went off and did some interviews to see if I could qualify for a pilot scholarship. And very luckily, I got selected, and I start, training to become a pilot in a week's time, which...
Oh, man, that is incredible. Really? And, yes, it is linked with the Red Arrows,
the Red Arrows,
How exciting is that?
He was lovely as well. That's Red 10. So they sponsor me for the scholarship. So it's with a charity called Flying Scholarships for Disabled People. And you get to fly, but obviously it costs a lot of money to give these scholarships, and different companies associated with aviation help with raising the money for these scholarships, and the Red Arrows are my sponsors.
Fantastic. So a very intense couple of weeks ahead, but worth it at the end. And that's what you'd like to do that? Like be a pilot, you'd like to be in the skies?
I don't know if I want to fly, you know, people over to, you know, on a jumbo jet. Can you imagine me as a pilot? I'd quite like to do a solo flight if I could.
Losing your son, Tom, just a horrendous thing to happen to any mother, obviously. And like we say, he was playing hockey, something that he loved. He'd been doing for many, many years, and it was just a terrible accident.
It was a freak accident, and it doesn't really happen in hockey. It's a wonderful game, but yes, Tom was hit on the back of the head at hockey training and immediately suffered a brain hemorrhage. And I hope this beautiful artwork will just trigger those conversations and get people to talk about it before it happens. I do want to educate people about organ donation, because Pippa, my daughter, and I, because obviously it's two girls together now, we're the ones who are left, we have had so much comfort from knowing that Tom has helped save lives. We have met two of Tom's recipients. We are so lucky. Today, little Fatima was 2.5 years old when she had part of Tom's liver. She was very poorly. She's now a bonny 6-year-old. She's adorable. She's going to start the relay today in Whitechapel. And then we travel up the country to different transplant hospitals, Oxford, Birmingham, Manchester, and we finish in Newcastle.
And in Newcastle, Gordon, who's Tom's heart recipient, is going to receive his heart because Gordon had his transplant in Newcastle, which they would say is the home of transplants, but Gordon is going to receive it on Friday, 7 o'clock at the Monument. He'll be there to finish off the relay. We're so fortunate. And we're so fortunate for incredible sponsorship this week for us to put on this relay. And we just hope, as I said, it will start conversations about organ donation.
Great. And why was it so important for both of you and the rest of the team to do it for Grenfell?
Well, there's 9 of us on the watch doing it, at the Red Watch at Paddington. We all attended the fire at Grenfell, and we wanted to do something for the community and the firefighters charity.
Sure.
So we're raising money for the Harrow Club, who help young kids in the area, the Rugby Portobello Trust, who've been helping with the rehoming of the families from Grenfell Tower, Grenfell Walk, and also the firefighters charity, who support firefighters not just in London but throughout the country and their families.
That's fantastic.
So very important causes to us, yeah.
You can't really train for that sort of thing, can you? It's quite difficult. And it was amazing how you got through that.
Yes, and part of getting through that was doing this run afterwards and raising the money for the local community as well.
Absolutely,
We worked there, so, yeah, it was part of getting through that process and coming out the other side.
But you two are real role models. You're pioneers. You know, people call you a power couple. I'm not quite sure what that means, but anyway. Is it quite, you know, I mean, because you've been able to help so many people, especially young people, you know, young people, trans men, trans women who are trying, who are maybe at the start of their journey and things are tough. And then they look at you and they think, you know what, it can be all right.
I think we live in a kind of very interesting time in the sort of trans movement, which is that we have both been brought up in a place where we are welcomed, we are supported by our families, our friends, and so we've been able to put together this very positive message of who we are. And if that can go back to a younger generation, then that's amazing. And, you know, we are very privileged to have the voice that we have. We know there's a lot of people in the LGBT community who would love to be able to have a voice as loud as ours. And so we're trying to do what we can with it to make sure that we contribute to a better future.
No, it's fantastic. It really is. I mean, you're getting the MBE. That's amazing. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
Extraordinary. I mean, it really is. I think that's so positive and very important.
I'm incredibly proud of her, I have to say.
I bet you are. I bet you are.
Hannah Groff, MBE.
I know. That's absolutely brilliant. It really is. That'll be a great day. Sound asleep, the perfect child. She joins me with her parents, Kim and Ryan. Wow, what a time you two have had. Goodness me.
Yeah.
Gosh, it must be so wonderful to have her looking so well and doing so well right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
She's perfect.
She's beautiful. She's a beautiful, beautiful girl. So, you had to have an emergency caesarean, obviously.
Yeah.
Why did they have to do that?
We just went to the doctors because I'd had swollen legs for a long time.
Right.
But they got painful. So in our lunch break, we just went to go and get it checked out.
Right.
Where they saw my blood pressure was 185 over 100. So they sent me to the hospital.
Yeah, I bet they did.
To get me on tablets to keep it down. So I spent the night there, and the next day they did a scan, which showed she'd stopped growing at 21 weeks, and there was no water around her.
Oh gosh. So they knew they had to do something real quick.
Well, they said it'd probably be a few weeks, didn't they?
Yeah, they said, well, we're thinking of sending you up to Bristol as a precaution.
Right.
It could be a few weeks.
OK.
And,
God, what a worrying time.
Yeah.
Those 2 weeks must have been awful, really bad.
Wow, it didn't even last a few weeks. We got to Bristol, and within about half an hour, her heart rate started dropping, so they had to get her out.
Of course, of course.
3 of the original calendar girls, Trisha, who posed for October, Angela was February, and Chris, who was September. And here we are, 20 years on, having raised over £5 million, which is a staggering amount of money.
For research into blood-related cancers.
Yeah, and it's a tremendous thing. And the story, of course, began with the calendar. And gosh, the twists and turns that have happened since then. The movie must have been an overwhelming experience for all of you.
It was. The movie was brilliant, and especially when we found out about the actors and actresses who were going to be in it. We were very excited.
And were you allowed on set? Were you very much part of it?
They treated us royally. We thought we'd need a pass to get on. But they treated us royally, and we were on set every day, and we have our own little cameo role with Arrival WI.
I know that the medals are very precious to you, but you're going to give them to each of the person that you're
they're going off to be engraved now, so each medal will be engraved on the back with the name of the victim that I ran that race for, and then I'll be giving them all to the families.
You're fabulous. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so, so much. And for everything that you've done. And we mustn't ever forget.
No, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.